Motown, baby, going crazy like the 80s. Motown, baby, going crazy like the 80s. Motown, baby, going crazy like the 80s. I put it on the floor and I dare bitch to take it. Niggas running around the city, owe me money, shit is silly. Buy my money just like 50 hoes, mad I got the power and the juice now. Been talking shit, I'm from the 48219. This nigga texting me, but I ain't never got the time. He asked him how I'm doing, bitch, I'm always on the grind. I'm just getting started if a nigga think I'm lying. The money's where my mind at, got that raw honey, you can find me with a hive at. Real, recognize real, who the fuck is y'all? Get that nigga play and I watch him drop the ball. Niggas wanna blame me, how the fuck you fall? If my back against the wall, run it up till I can't no more. I ain't no hoe, I'm bout the dough, switching seats in the foe, but my eyes low. Get everything I touch though, hey, I get everything I touch though. Motown, baby, going crazy like the 80s. Motown, baby, going crazy like the 80s. Motown, baby, going crazy like the 80s. Motown, baby, going crazy like.
Some of the features of the Grand Canyon couldn't be hidden. That's why they restricted them. Before they restricted them, we have a chance to see our past, ancient civilizations, from their monuments, as photographed by John Wesley Powell, to their deities, forever cast in stone, to a Moor's king's ransom of unfathomable wealth stored within these structures, made into vaults. All are now the petrified remains, be it the rubble, albeit the features that just can't be hidden nor destroyed, but petrified forever. They are the Grand Canyon.
Born in that glittering republic, and in the moment you are born, since you don't know any better, every stick and stone and every face is white, and since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover that the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you, 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 that the Indians were you. This means, in the case of an American Negro, born in that glittering republic, and in the moment you are born, since you don't know any better, every stick and stone and every face is white, and since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock.
What's up, TikTok? As you can see, my video about the solar eclipse was deleted. I wonder why. Now, if you didn't see my video, a total solar eclipse is basically when the moon completely covers up the sun. The last total eclipse was in 2017, and the next one won't be until 2045. Mind you, I said total solar eclipse, not just a regular solar eclipse. Now, like I stated in my last video, why are flights starting at $49 on the day of the eclipse? Why are schools shutting down? Why did the news give us tips which read, schedule errands and appointments early, have a communication plan with family and friends, have cash on hand in case of limited internet access, buy necessary groceries and gas ahead of time, and expect heavy traffic and long lines at local services. These solar eclipses have been happening since the Roman Empire days. Now, I'm not saying that this has anything to do with the Bohemian Grove. I'm not saying that a certain group of people worship this owl god called Moloch. And I'm not saying that they believe they have to sacrifice the most purest, innocent human beings to this god to repay their karma. I'm not saying that a bunch of kids went missing in Hawaii on this island called Maui, the same island that just burnt down. I'm not saying everything was burnt down except these particular group of people, lands, and properties. I'm not saying that Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and other celebrities all own land on this particular island. I'm also not saying that residents of Hawaii seen a laser in the sky right before the fire started. And I'm not saying that Drake's OVO symbol resembles the owl statue of the Moloch. Now, if you do your own research, every time a full solar eclipse has happened, a war was going on, except in 2017. And like I stated in my last video, there has been a measles outbreak in Chicago, and it's an airborne disease, and it's highly contagious. Now, I'm not saying that 98 people are already in quarantine due to this disease already. I'm not saying that something big is going down before this year's election. And I'm definitely not saying that the news stated that we could be headed towards another shutdown. Also, my donations are up to $2,000, and I appreciate all of you. And remember that anything helps, whether it's just a share or a dollar. I'm currently trying to find an out-of-town lawyer because clearly these people are working together. The Cash App is still in my bio, as well as the link to my website and brand, Conspiracy Minds. I love y'all, and I appreciate every share, every prayer, and every dollar.
When I fly back to to Vegas, I have to drive home. I left my car down in Vegas. I have to drive home alone. I'm scared to hell.
Bill Schneider was found dead in his apartment. So let me get this straight. Congress wants to protect American citizens from TikTok. So they're banning it. But Homeland terrorists, and let me explain, that means terrorists that are in the homeland. Homeland being America. Homeland terrorists are shooting up schools.
They quick to call everybody a terrorist too, and they the biggest ones.
Concerts, nightclubs, etc. with AK-style assault rifles. But Congress can't protect its citizens from that. What is going on here? Is this real life?
No, this part is funny as fuck.
Or are we actually in the Matrix? I look like a simulation.
I take the cocaine, add a little propane. I don't play no hope games, all about the dope, man. It come back so good, the fiends burn their whole brain. They get the wiggling and shaking like on Soul Train.
God damn it, Dwayne Carter, you kiss Stunner in his mouth. Fuck you, Birdman, daughter. You mentioned the kid and you know Philly way hard. You ain't Birdman Jr., silly, you Gilly, J.R.
Birdman Jr., silly, you Gilly, J.R.
Ask around town, I cover the order. If you the fireman and I'm a cold bucket of water, shit. I cool you down as fast as you heat up. Cause you ain't even you just gilly repeated up.
Cause you ain't even you just gilly repeated up. Cause you ain't even you just gilly repeated up. Speed it up.
Pineal gland up to the cerebrum brain, then you would know when Moses split the Red Sea and the water raised on this side and the water raised on this side, he put the staff in the middle, which is the spine, and the Kundalini energy is the Pingala, the masculine energy, and the Ida, the feminine energy, the electrical energy that goes up the chakras to ignite the pineal gland, which when Moses was at the top of the mountain, he spoke to a burning bush. If you know anything about your pineal gland, it's shaped like a burning bush. It's the light receptor that interacts with the universe that electricity comes down into, and you can talk to God through meditation.
The galaxy selected to act as living library or storehouse. It was then thousands of races also journeyed here under the protection and rule of Queen Tiamat, from all over to seed different plant and animal species. Octopus, mushrooms, orchids, lions and canines, etc. Many of them stayed for a while, delighting in the rich lushness of Tiamat. The dragon queen Tiamat herself helped seed life and created a giant androgynous humanoid race called the Namlu-U to act as guardians of the living library on Tiamat, which would one day be a piece of planet Earth. The Namlu-U were the race that the ancient Greeks called the Titans, the giants that were the parents of the gods, meaning a race of 50 to 60 foot tall humanoids who existed here before the Anunnaki arrived. This era of peace and harmony would last throughout the galaxy for approximately 5.5 million years, until the next great war, known as the War in Heaven. A group of 15 royal bloodlines from Orion, known for their dark and violent history, took refuge on Maldek, exacerbating the planet's decline. These beings, possessing powerful multidimensional capabilities and various avatars, influenced Maldek's inhabitants, descendants of a defeated reptoid lineage from Earth, towards self-serving ideals, technological reliance, and control, further spiraling the planet into decay. This shift towards aggression led to threats against peaceful Martians, escalating to demands for Mars to surrender its territory or face conquest. The conflict drew in aid from the Pleiadians, summoned by Martian appeals, which Maldek interpreted as provocation, leading to a violent clash. Maldek used advanced electromagnetic gravitic technology against Mars, deploying toxic chemical bombs that devastated the Martian atmosphere and population, with survivors fleeing to Sirius, the Pleiades, or Earth. In retaliation, the Pleiadians attacked Maldek, causing its leaders to disastrously increase their energy grid's power. This action led to Maldek's destruction, forming the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter and fragmenting the souls of its inhabitants. These soul fragments, along with those of the Martians, sought refuge on Earth, joining its diverse soul population. Before Maldek's destruction, the 15 Orion leaders escaped to Atlantis, 52,000 years in the past, intending to influence Earth's history. However, the Pleiadians countered by imposing a third density matrix to trap the Orion group and stabilize the situation, integrating the traumatized souls from Maldek and Mars into Earth's reincarnation cycle. These events have shaped Earth's history, with the Orion group merging with other influential factions to form what is known as the Cabal, while some Pleiadians work towards assisting Earth's evolution beyond the third density matrix. Sanat Kumara, leading a group from Venus, established the 5D city of Shambhala above the Gobi Sea to stabilize Earth's situation, later creating a 4D city beneath it. Working with Pleiadians and evolved Martians, they aided the traumatized souls from the Maldek-Mars War, incarnating as primitive hominids with reduced psychic abilities. The group of humans from the Pleiades who had settled here about 17.5 million years before and who were also living at the 4th density. Most of Agartha is 4D territory. had already established a city underground, and they welcomed the Nakaals and also assisted with the construction. Then the Nakaals began. Together with the Pleiadian group and the more highly evolved Martians who had escaped the destruction of their planet's atmosphere in their light bodies, they began helping the traumatized souls of all those who had perished in the Maldek-Mars War, who were hovering around Tiamat, later known as Earth, in a great cloud, waiting to incarnate here. These poor souls were so traumatized and fragmented. They had lost all their psychic abilities and Akashic memory, and were barely sentient. They incarnated into the third density matrix as primitive hominids, the genus we know as Homo habilis. The active DNA was reduced to 2 strands, with the 10 other strands existing only as potential. The different soul families, each of which was comprised of shards from a previously intact single soul, incarnated into different tribes. Essentially, one tribe gunned one soul family, one shattered Maldekian or Martian soul. To this day, many of the souls who inhabit current are diverse and was one of the 12 planets in the...
Brothers, they've been planning for like the last 8 months, bro. Like I said, September 23rd was when they did the first thing against me. They've got everybody involved. This is a big thing where they've got a few different people involved. My mom, I think, was whoever got, my mom or my sister got contracted to do it first. And I think that from there it spread out. You know, I think they started getting people to be involved from my mom and my sister. I think the deal was to help get rid of my brother so that my sister would try to get put on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's really, really horrible. It's really, really a horrible, tragic thing. But my mom is definitely involved in this. I heard her on the phone getting calls from the inside. How everybody who's acting in unison, cooperating the same story right now is involved. And they're trying to throw it off on other people, bro. My brother has no real enemies. A lot of that entertainment stuff is fake. The only people who will try to harm him right now are the people who would benefit.
Bottom of haunted Lake Lanier looks like.
Guys, check it out. So I have found that when I do super long exposures on any bright, really, really bright star or planet, it reveals this grid pattern. So I think what's happening is this scope is so powerful, and it's got such a fast focal ratio that when I do these long exposures on these really bright stars, it reveals some sort of a grid pattern. This is obviously from the firmament. I know you guys have saw Hunger Games, and when she shot the arrow and hit the dome, it revealed a similar pattern. Same thing in the movie King Kong. Guys, they put the truth in plain sight, knowing that most people will never see it. This is Jupiter, by the way. This is a 30-second exposure of Jupiter. People actually think that that's another world and that these stars all around it are moons. I'll zoom back out here so you can see the full shot. Whoop. Let me get zoomed back in on here. Yeah, that's Jupiter, guys. 30-second exposure shows you how bright Jupiter truly is. No, wrong way again. Look at this. What in the world? That's not the camera, guys. This is a high-end camera. Let me show you. This is a Canon EOS RP. It's a full-frame mirrorless camera. This is a nice camera. And it's on a really nice scope. This is my new telescope. Look at that bad boy. The truth is being revealed, guys. Whether you want to see it or choose to see it, that's up to you. But I see it. Many others see it.
Use echolocation. Echolocation is the original language we spoke on this planet. That's why in Predator, they show the predator doing what? He's doing clicks. He uses echolocation. All right? But do you know what the fuck echolocation really is? That's them transferring the chi out of their soul, because dolphins have souls. Did you know that? Right. So the reason that echolocation works for a fucking dolphin or a whale is because they actually have a soul, and they release that solar energy, and it's called solar technology. And they took the solar part off, and they call this sonar technology. So when dolphins use echolocation, they call that sonar, S-O-N-A-R technology. But the soul, the S and O, comes from the S and O from solar, because dolphins have spirit and soul, because dolphins are also fucking gods.
Did you know that there used to be a birthing center in Hawaii that was a dolphin-assisted birth center, where you'd go and you'd interact with these dolphins giving birth, and something very miraculous would happen? Keep in mind, the mainstream media went full smear campaign on anyone even considering having a dolphin-assisted birth. Did you know that dolphins are the only creature that you are legally prohibited from interacting with unless you're in a registered facility like SeaWorld? So why is that? At these birth centers, a strange phenomenon would happen where the women who are pregnant would be sitting in the water, and the dolphins would come around and start swimming in circles around them. They would create a natural vortex around the woman, and they would use their sonar to allegedly psychically heal and interact with the baby, the unborn baby. A man named Igor Charkovsky assisted thousands of underwater dolphin-assisted births with women from around the world, and the results are astounding. And you could say that's why they have tried to ban dolphin-assisted births. Here's the birthing center in Hawaii that has since been closed down after no one was harmed, no animals were injured, and yet thousands of women were giving birth with dolphins around and had an amazing time. But what was the results of this? Children born with a dolphin-assisted birth had higher IQ, higher physical capabilities at a younger age. They were able to walk sooner. They were able to talk sooner. Something happened with these dolphins and these humans that increased their mental, cognitive, and physical abilities. You may be wondering, how is this possible? Isn't a dolphin just a damn dumb fish? Two ways to figure out how exactly you can gauge the intelligence of an animal. One of them is the brain size. Another one is the folds, in the brain, which are indicative of the amount of neural cells that can be present. Dolphins have some of the most folds in their neocortex than any other animal on Earth, which means they could be extremely advanced, and we wouldn't know it because we don't know how to speak dolphin. Here we have a mainstream news article saying experts blast couple for flying to Hawaii for a dolphin-assisted birth. They're trying to make people never consider such a situation. In my opinion, they are hiding a specific, perhaps even ancient practice of giving birth with dolphins present.
This out, but have you ever noticed all the guest speakers on Ancient Aliens are really white? That's weird, right? Because this show is primarily about analyzing the culture of people of color in ancient history, and yet the only times I ever seem to notice a local being interviewed is to just give basic facts about the area. The locals are never the people claiming that it was actually aliens. The show is still on the air, it's got almost 200 episodes, and they're still making more of them, so I'm sure there are exceptions. But anytime I see it on TV, it's always a white dude describing things that non-white people did, saying that it was impossible for how undeveloped they were, and then saying that it had to be aliens.
How could the Easter Islanders have invented their own writing without some other cultural influence? They're doing things that would require precision work. How could they have had these advanced machining tools? The one answer would have to be they'd gotten it from ancient aliens.
the Mayans could not possibly have developed these systems on their own. So it is clear that they were given to them by aliens out there.
Of course, the ongoing narrative of these moments is clearly a somewhat contradictory lack of respect for these civilizations and their people. Their art is interesting enough to analyze, their accomplishments impressive enough to praise, and yet the hosts always come back around to directly or indirectly saying that they were too unsophisticated to have accomplished any of this without outside help, which is an opinion that they never seem to come to about European churches or castles or anything like that.
Clearly, someone told the local people how to place these stones into different areas.
So you're surmising the technology was given to these people.
The engineering knowledge, because this screams mathematics.
I will certainly concur to this extent. Someone or someones had extraordinary knowledge here. This is not easy to build.
No.
The funniest thing about this show to me is that if you believe all of these guest speakers, and you think that 90% of the accomplishments of people of color were done with the help of aliens, and meanwhile we have Stonehenge and nothing else, doesn't that imply that aliens don't like white people? I mean, aliens were going across the globe throughout all of early civilizations and meeting with all these different people and helping them invent things and helping stack structures and building pyramids for them, except for us. What did we do? What did we do that made aliens avoid talking to us for the rest of human civilization? I posted that joke on Twitter, and a couple select people got really, really mad. So now, in my ongoing fight to make everyone on the internet mad, I'm officially selling Aliens Don't Like White People merchandise on Redbubble. Get yourself some Aliens Don't Like White People t-shirts, coffee mugs, blankets, shower curtains. Deliver this message to the world with the utmost pride. Link in the description.
This fake alien invasion, everybody gonna swear it's real. You know why? Because people don't know that the sky is CGI technology. I've been telling y'all this. That's not your real sky. You see the sky behind me? That same sky up there. That motherfucker is not real. Alright? It's not real. I've been telling y'all that for a reason, because it's being controlled. There's 5 layers to it. It's CGI technology. They showed you this shit in that movie Kong when he threw the motherfucking spear at the motherfucking sun, nigga. Right? They showed it right to you, but before they showed it to you in Kong, for those of you who've been listening to me in this university, y'all know from day one I've been telling y'all this. So if people not know that CGI technology, once they get the change in the frequency of the sky, and they get the altering the layers of the sky to make it look like it's a war going on right there, that's not. Alright? They make it seem like it's these huge spaceships that's in the sky, that's not. And then they're gonna actually use actual spaceships that they do have from other extraterrestrial species, like these insectoids and these greys and these other ones that they got, they in cahoots with. They gonna make this shit look real, y'all. Listen, this gonna be the biggest movie. Listen, this gonna be the biggest movie they never put out, nigga. This gonna be the biggest movie they ever put out. I'm saying movie for a reason, because the shit ain't real, but it's gonna look real. Listen, you ain't better tell people that we ain't under UFO invasion. I'm telling y'all in advance. Listen, man, holographic imagery is real, man. You're gonna see motherfucking aliens running down the street, all that. Be prepared for it. I told you here first.
Guys, check it out. So, I have found that when I do super long exposures on any bright, really, really bright star or planet, it reveals this grid pattern. So I think what's happening is this scope is so powerful, and it's got such a fast focal ratio that when I do these long exposures on these really bright stars, it reveals some sort of a grid pattern. I know you guys have saw Hunger Games, and when she shot the arrow and hit the dome, it revealed a similar pattern. Same thing in the movie King Kong. Guys, they put the truth in plain sight, knowing that most people will never see it. Look at this grid-like pattern.
So I had to hop on this trend when I saw people adjusting the settings in their cameras
and they started seeing all these crazy things in the sky. I had to cut out the first half of this video because it was way too long, but you guys, this is crazy. What is actually going on? I keep zooming in and out because I'm just in total shock and disbelief. And then I'm looking at this tree and I'm like, okay, so the tree doesn't have it. It's like real things don't have it. But it's all over the sky. I don't know why I'm whispering. This is so crazy. And then at the end, there's like this giant T in the sky. What the fuck?
I'm going to say to you, at the expense or taking the chance that Facebook might delete this video, because I think I know why they deleted the last video, but I'm going to say it again. Anything that you could cause chemically, any effect that you could cause chemically, you can cause with radio waves and scalar potential if you have the knowledge and the right equipment. I'm gonna say that again, because believe me when I tell you, I got millions of sources for this shit. I got some literature for your ass, some government literature that they hide from you in plain sight. Look, man, look at me. They hide this shit in plain sight, right? So, any effect that you could cause chemically, you can cause with radio waves. So in other words, you could cause an explosion chemically. We all know that, right? Right. What I'm saying to you is that the 5G towers can be used to cause explosions in your fucking community.
The RX successfully passed a full round of military testing that included shipboard shock explosions.
3, 2, 1, fire.
Why do you think back, I'd say about 7 years ago, about 7 years ago, they started disguising cell phone towers as trees. They started disguising cell phone towers as fucking houses, as telephone poles, and shit like that. Why do you think they started doing that? Because if you saw how many cell phone towers were really around you, you're gonna start thinking, Jack. And they couldn't have that. So they started disguising them. Fuck around, you got a tree that looked like one of these down the street from you, huh? It looks like a tree until you get close and touch it. And then you find out it's not a fucking tree. You hear a buzzing fucking sound coming from the top of it and shit. And you realize it's a fucking cell phone tower.
Various reports of King Charles's unaliving.
Oh my god, is King Charles dead?
The king passed away unexpectedly yesterday afternoon.
Buckingham Palace puts out a rather bizarre picture of the king. Mind you, this comes on the heels of an equally bizarre public appearance by Kate Middleton.
We know when we see a stunt double.
Folks, there's no question we are witnessing the destruction of the old guard right before our very eyes.
Let me talk to you.
And with Trump set to usher in a new era of Camelot upon returning to office, it's no secret why the powers that be are trying to assassinate Trump both in the media.
Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Bloodbath.
and physically.
Donald Trump loves this country, and boy, are they trying to assassinate this man.
But if you've read the book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey,
Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey,
you guys are afraid of the wrong Trump. Hey, if you know, you know.